Irish Media Network. We entertain.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Irish Media Network. I'm your host, Joe Caulfield, and welcome to the Sports Update. On this week's show, we're going to be talking all about boxing, and this week I am joined by a man who has a professional record of 8-0. He is the current BUI Celtic champion. Let's show you what he can do before I bring him on. This is, of course, Victor Rabei. Victor, how are things, mate?
Good, very good. How are you, Joe?
Good stuff. Brings back some fond memories there now. Get you revved up for the fight on the 11th September.
Absolutely. Brought a big smile on my face, seeing myself in the ring. I can't wait to get back.
That's it, mate. Look, I'm going to jump in straight there. I want to go back a little bit because it was a crazy 2019 for you. May 2019, you had your last fight. 8-0, incredible start to your professional career. You signed for Star Boxing Promotions in November. You had your American debut scheduled with Omar Bordoy for early 2020. And then 2020 has been a bit more of a frustrating year for you in that, for everybody, in terms of the first fight was rescheduled. The second one was the middle of COVID. There was complete lockdown. It must have been quite difficult to maintain your focus and your mental strength during that period. You must be dying to get back into the ring on the 11th September, yeah?
I didn't want to get myself too excited because I always this COVID situation has put a stop to a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So it's only coming now. I'm mid my wake up at the moment, but I'm getting a lot of buzz towards it. So I'm very happy. But again, we're 9 days out, and hopefully everything stays the same and nothing changes within the 9 days, and then we're back in the ring. 2020, well, since my last fight, really, it's been an absolute roller coaster of emotions, mentally very tough, because physically tough as well, because you're putting your body through. I went through 2 full camps without a fight.
Yeah, that's very tough.
So, it's so hard, and I say it to everyone. I have a gym, and they always ask me, what's it like training so much? And I'm just like, well, it's easy when you have a fight. But if I didn't have a fight, I don't know if I'd be able to put myself through all that kind of suffering in a way. But listen, it is what it is. I love what I do.
Yeah, but I think that's totally natural for any human being. As in, if you have a goal to work towards, you can drive yourself to your absolute limit, knowing that on that date you're going to leave it all out there. But when the end date isn't specific, you're kind of pushing yourself for a kind of an unknown destination, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, it's tough because you can't really fully push yourself. Because your body, we're human at the end of the day. It breaks down. You start getting niggles. You can't push too much, So we try to stay since July 1st, when gyms were allowed to open back in Ireland, pro gyms.
Yeah.
Myself, my teammates, Steve, we all got back into the gym and we started working. We didn't have a fight date then. We just knew that we need to get back to kind of around 70-80% fitness, so that once there's a call saying that there's a fight in 2-3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever it was, that we'd be in a position to say, let's go for it. And then for the next 2-3 weeks, really push to get ourselves to our peak fitness levels. And that's what happened. July, we didn't really have a fight date. And then the start of mid-August, Conor Slater rang on the phone and said, listen, Vic, there's a fight in Spain, Valencia, on the 11th of September if you want it. And obviously that wasn't a no-brainer for me. I said, absolutely, let's go. Let's get it.
Brilliant. So talk to me about that a little bit. In terms of a fight camp, you said you had done 2 previously for a fight that didn't actually come to fruition. How long does an intensive fight camp in the build-up to a fight last?
So it really depends on how long the fight is. Okay, so for example, a 10-round fight, you'd need 8 to 10 weeks of training camp, which is every week you'd be doing about 12-13 sessions a week, which is a lot. Physically it's a lot, and mentally it is as well.
So when you say sessions, do you mean sparring sessions or just general? Could be anything. Could be cardio. Could be anything. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a mix of boxing, punching bags, sparring, track sessions, strength sessions. A mix of all of them. So yeah, usually it's usually at the moment between 8 and 10, depending on when the time before that, as in like you train before that. If your fitness is fine, then you're happy with 6-8 weeks. But we've been, I think this is week 9 for me since it is since the start of July. So I'm back to my peak fitness. I'm very happy. I've been sparring brilliantly. Track sessions fantastic, sparring sessions fantastic. S&C doing my personal best. So everything is taking off well.
Yeah, and like it's kind of as you say, you're now at like an 8-day countdown to fight it, so that seems to be kind of progressing really nicely. I saw you were in the ring sparring with Tiernan Bradley there yesterday, who was obviously on the show with you the last time you were on. Do you like to swap it up? Do you like to mix with different types of partners who might be a bit bigger or a bit faster? Or how do you like to select who you spar with in to a fight like this?
So usually for a big fight, you'd really study your opponent, see what he's like, see what he's good at, see what he's bad at, kind of the way he moves, and then my coach and my management team will be looking for kind of similar fighters and then bring them into the studio, into the gym for sparring sessions. But at the moment, I'm getting like my next opponent, Herman Isaba, is a tough little nut. He's a little bit shorter than me, but he's a go-forward lad, and he'll be on my chest for, God, whatever, as long as it takes. It's a 6-round fight, but hopefully we're going to get him out a bit early.
Yeah,
but so sparring outside of training camps, I'd love to spar everyone. It's just to get the foot in there, the spar.
But you tailor to the opponent you're going to face. In terms of, you mentioned Herman Isaba, he's 42, he has 37 professional fights. Granted, he hasn't won in the last 8 years, but he's on the road a long time. He's going to be well able to box clever. What do you expect him on September 11th? So
the idea behind Herman is to get me back into the ring, because I haven't fought in a year and a half nearly. Like my big goal is to fight in the States. We spoke to the promoters, they're Star Boxing, and they're saying that they want to open up again kind of towards the end of the year this year. So like I said before, I want to jump into a big fight straight away. I think that would be a very good thing for me, as in I'll be able to grab.
When you hit America, you want it to be a big fight, you mean?
Yeah, the second I land in the States, I want a big fight, because then I know that way I'll be able to grab onto the audience or whoever's there, the fans. Get the most out of the first exposure. Set myself apart from a few other people, and Herman is just getting me back into the ring, and I want 6 really tough rounds, because he's kind of like Omar in the sense height-wise he's the same, toughness, they all do kind of similar stuff. So again, it'll be a warm-up for Omar, but like anything, you can't really overlook anyone in boxing, because one person can turn absolutely everything around. If you've watched Povetkin against White the other week, Dillian White was dominating that fight. He dropped Povetkin twice in round 4, and round 5 is the best combo in the world: a jab, slip, uppercut, and that was it. So you can't. It's a sport, a very cruel sport. If you shot for a little bit, one punch can turn it all the way. Yeah,
well, I think it's the case in any sport. If you go into it underestimating your opponent, it's a recipe for disaster. More so in boxing, though, than anything else, because in a soccer match, it unfolds over 90 minutes. In the ring, as you say, good combo and you're out, and good night and chance gone. In terms of when you do make the American debut, do you have any idea of when that might be? And do you think it's set in stone that it will be Omar Bordoy that you do fight when you do make that debut?
So, like I said, I spoke to the promoters in the States. They're hoping towards the end of the year, but the COVID situation in the States at the moment isn't the best, especially New York.
Of course.
So they're looking at options. All I can do is train, stay fit. I'm getting this fight before the States, which would be brilliant. If they postpone it maybe till early next year, I'll hopefully get another fight somewhere around Europe, if I can, just to keep me busy and stay sharp, basically. But I don't know, honestly, everything's up in the air. Everything is up in the air. If someone says we'll give you a solid plan, I think they're lying, because I don't think anyone knows. what's going on.
I think and it's a global pandemic. It's very difficult to know, what the future holds for anyone. I actually saw an interview that you had done recently, and you were talking about how you employ little techniques and mechanisms to maintain focus and to kind of push yourself to do things you might want to do in order to build that mental strength. How important has that been for you in 2020 in the opening 9 months of it so far in the build up to this fight?
I think a huge, just one little thing. Like, I hate cold water, and Tiernan and I were in 40 foot yesterday.
Yeah.
And in my head, I said straight away, Vic, don't even think about it. In your swimming trunks, go onto the top of the rock and jump. The second you start hesitating, that's when you it's a mental battle. It might get over you.
Of course.
When we're put in situations when we don't want to do something, there's so many more reasons why you should do it. In your head, you already start thinking that, you come up with excuses why not to do it.
Yeah.
So like I said, every day, like making your bed, I enjoy a little snack, let's say some fruit stuff in my room, bring them down, bring my dirty clothes down, in the gym, show 15 minutes earlier, do my stretching. It's the smallest things in the world, but small battles that I win becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And before you know it, subconsciously, you do all these things without even thinking about it. And it's already a massive win. And for 2020, it really has kept me in the loop. And the first few weeks were, I don't want to say tough, but like I was mid training camp when the lockdown kind of happened.
Yeah.
So the first 3 days, I was like, class. My body's enjoying a little rest. I did a lot. It was brilliant. And then reality kind of kicked in. I was like, hang on a second. I was meant to be having a fight. What's next? But doing these things, like in the lockdown, my thing was do 2-3 kilometers at least, A lot of people set themselves like high standards, going for a 5 kilometer, going for a 10 kilometer. I just said do 2-3 every day, and I have, and that really kept me in decent shape so that when we went back into the gym, I was all right. Just picked up where we left off. But,
no, and you're dead right with that. Like when I was listening to that interview, I just thought you're dead right. Like there are little like battles in every single day. Like you're saying, you get up and it's easy just to hop out of bed, into the shower and out the door. Stop, make yourself go back, spend 15 seconds making your bed, or the one thing a week of going to the sea and jumping in. It's not something you particularly like doing, so you force yourself to do that thing, and it's a little win for you in the week. I thought that was a great little technique that you employ. In the next 8 days now to the fight, what's your build-up routine? I know it's happening in Spain, so when do you travel? What are your final preparations now between now and Friday?
So tomorrow would be kind of my last hardish day of training, but tomorrow is when I start my water loading. So it's a weird one. It's my last one was fun. Energy levels were gone. Mood swings. You're happy. You're sad. So tomorrow is when I start my water loading, which is basically.
Sorry, what is water loading, Vic?
So you're kind of tricking your body into. So the next 3 days, okay. So let's say Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I increase the water intake basically to 7-8 liters of water a day, which is a lot. Okay, my carbs go up to about between 120 to 150. So 1 gram of carbs holds on to 4 grams of water around it. I think it's 3 or 4 or something. So you increase the carbohydrates in your body and salt intake, which holds on to the water. The following 3 days, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you drop it down to about 5 to 7 liters of water a day, but then you take carbs out completely and you take salt out completely. So the water that goes into your body, you're literally flushing it. It goes in and out. It doesn't stay with it. And then on the Wednesday, which is the tough part, you only drink half a liter of water, which half a liter to most people are like, that's actually a bit more than I drink on normal daily basis. But because you've been drinking so much water on the day, you're so easy. Like I've done it so many times. Fill up a pint of water, and then you're just about to put it in your mouth. Like, hang on a second, I can't.
That's where the mental toughness comes in, Vic. That's where the mental strength that you built up over the last 8 months is going to pay off. Unfortunately, we're running out of time here, so I'm just going to have to say you're fighting on the 11th September. We're all going to be rooting for you. We can't wait to see how you get on. The best of luck from all of us here.